Ninjutso has always been kind of like the people's champ when it comes to mice. Not only are they dropping enthusiast features, but they are dropping them at affordable prices. Today they have two new releases, the 10 and the 10 Air. So today we're going to see if Ninjutso has kept their hot streak of releasing banger mice or if they have finally stumbled. So the 10 Air comes in at $100 for the pricing and the regular 10 is at $90. $90 to $100 is kind of like the budget area nowadays with inflation, when we're seeing mice like the Logitech 2C just come out at $160. With that being said, both are aimed squarely at that sweet spot of performance and value, and the difference between them, don't worry, we'll get into that. So let's take a look at what's in the box here. Right up front, you'll get the mouse itself. Then we have this interesting looking dongle, and you might notice something right away. It's actually RGB. I wasn't expecting that at all. More on that later. Underneath that, you'll get the USB-C cable and a really cool extra set of two skates. One standard set and one set of dot skates for a faster glide. I personally have been hoping that more companies would go this route and give us dot skates right in the packaging, but there are a bunch of different options that you can go with if you're not happy with the stock one. And later we'll get into my actual thoughts on how these skates perform. Packaging overall clean, minimal, functional, nothing flashy, but it gives you everything you need. The 10 Air is feather light at 47 grams, while the regular sits at around 53 to 54 grams, and you can definitely feel the difference. If you're into super lightweight mice, then the Air is gonna be instantly better, but if you prefer more stability and at planted feel, the regular 10 might be your pick. The battery life also changes depending on which one you grab. The 10 Air is 95 hours and the regular 10 is 150 hours. Personally, I think that 95 hours is perfectly fine. I love that some companies like Razer is going up to that 150 mark, maybe even more, but 95 is pretty good and the standard these days. Now in terms of build, there is one small thing that I noticed on the 10 Air. There's a little soft spot on the top of the shell. You kind of have to press down to feel it. It doesn't affect performance or daily use at all, but it is worth mentioning. I mean, they gotta lose the weight somehow. Outside of that, the coating feels really good, premium, no creaks, no side flex. Ninjutso's quality control has definitely stepped up. The sensor they're using is a proprietary AIM Ninja sensor. It's based off of the Pixart 3950 with improvements to battery life. So if you're familiar with that sensor, you're gonna feel right at home here. All right, so the shape and feel, that is where things get a little bit interesting. 10 shape feels like a love child between the Superlight and the Viper V3 Pro, but smoothed out and a little bit more natural. It has straighter lines, which gives your fingers more breathing room, especially if you felt cramped using more concave designs. The front is slightly lifted like the Superlight, and the middle hump isn't too aggressive, it just melts into your hand. For me personally, I still like that subtle inward concave feel on the side just to help me feel like I'm pinching the mouse, but for some people they do prefer more of this straight line design. Different strokes for different folks, we talk about this all the time. Comfort wise though, even though I prefer the concave size, this is a very comfortable mouse to use and you can use it for hours on end. It's going to be great for claw grip, fingertip grip players, and honestly you could palm grip this mouse as well. Moving on to the buttons and the scroll wheel. Ninjutso's using their hyperclick tech for the main buttons, which promises super low latency, crisp feel, and no double clicking issues. And while they are crispy, I found them to be a little bit on the heavier side. Not bad, but not as feather light as the ones on like the new Superlight 2C or the Viper V3 Pro. They land somewhere in the middle, perfectly fine for most people, but just not my ideal click. The side buttons are pretty good, almost eliminating all pre-travel. They have a little bit of post-travel, but it feels very cushioned out, which is nice. The scroll wheel is nice, it's smooth, defined steps. The first batch has some inconsistencies with the scroll wheel, but they seem to have improved it here. But hey, don't take my word for it, let's drop that sound test right about now. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the software and then we will meet back here. Alright, so here we are in Ninja Force. This is a web-based browser, but you can also download it. I noticed when I had to do the firmware update, they made me download the actual software first. But after that, I was able to use their browser software. Now here you can customize the clicks, the actions that it takes. Then over on this page, you can come over here and it'll show you the DPI stages. It'll show you the reporting rate. It'll show you the sleep time, the tune. You can do slam click prevention as well. You got the motion sync on here. You got the lift off distance. I leave mine at low. Then you got hyperclick here, which reduces the latency of the switch. You've got hyperclick here, which reduces more latency on your clicks. Then over here, you can turn off that light on the RGB of the dongle if it is annoying you. That thing is pretty bright. You can also change the speed of the wave and the cycling and things like that, and also do your own color. Then you have macros over here if you want to cheat and do stuff like that. I'm just kidding. And then you can also update here on this page. But the Ninja 4 software always works pretty seamlessly, so I haven't had any issues with it outside of that firmware update. But after that, like I said, everything worked as it should. Now, one thing that I did notice with the 10 and the 10 Air that I didn't like is these new skates that they put in. I love that they put in dot skates and a bigger set of skates. That's cool. But these are very static, friction heavy. Like, it was very hard and it was very inconsistent to use for micro adjustments. So if you're somebody that is playing something like Valorant where you have to kind of just move ever so slightly, yeah, I was overshooting a lot. I was missing a lot of layup shots that I should be hitting or that I usually hit. It felt a little bit different. The good thing is you can always just replace them with some artisan skates of your own, but the ones in the box, I do feel like they need to change out because they were not happy with my Artisan Zero. Alright, so here is the bottom line. The Ninjutso 10 and 10 Air are both really strong entries in the lightweight mouse market. The shape is comfortable and versatile. The sensor, flawless performance. The build does have that subtle flex, but nothing to be worried about. The clicks on the heavier side, more than I expected. The skates, like I said, have a little bit too much static friction for fine adjustments for me, so I'll swap them out. So yeah, Ninjutso is doing what Ninjutso does best, giving you enthusiast level performance, unique designs, and great value, all without breaking the bank. If you're looking for something that feels familiar but different enough to make it exciting, this is definitely one to check out. Alright guys, so if you have any more questions about the 10 or the 10 Air, let me know down in the comments below. I would personally go with the 10 Air. I just want to make that clear, over the 10. So that is just me. It's more well balanced. It has been your boy BT saying peace.